You know, when I first started dual sport riding, I never pictured myself doing challenging trails. I always thought to myself, hey, let's just put around these easy forest roads and call it good. Well, I was wrong. The more I got into it, the better I wanted to become, the more I wanted to conquer and challenge myself. That is one of the reasons I got the KLX250 in the beginning. It was perfect for putting around, never challenging myself, or so I thought. At the time, I never thought I would be doing crazy rocky trails or single track or going to Moab and riding on the cliffs of mountains. I just wanted to explore forest roads and be safe. Fast forward a year later, and Kulai, Colorado lent me his KTM250 EXC F quite a few times. And by far, he is not a beginner rider. He is one of the guys who actually taught me how to ride as well. And this kind of shows you, the KTM250 EXC F is all you need in your lineup. We ride really tough single track around Colorado that is nothing but steep grades. I mean, all of our single track is gonna be steep. And to be honest, I don't think my KLX250 would make it up some of this stuff, because well, the power won't be there due to the elevation and how steep some of these single tracks are, and the KTM250 EXC F was more than enough. It had a lot of grunt. He reported mostly being on second and third gear. You know that telling where less power usually means faster? Well, that is definitely true. You are more confident, you can control the power much easier, and there is only so much power you can utilize on tougher single track, especially if you are in the new rider category. But let's rewind it a bit and come back to the day I first bought the KLX250. Because of this bike, I ended up buying over 4 more dirt bikes because I was unsure what I wanted, and I think it was right under me this entire time. It was the 250 EXC F or FE250. I craved power on the road but gentle on the trails, and that is exactly what the KTM 250 EXC F was designed to do. It has the grunt and the power for highway runs, of course not 500 KTM EXC F style, but enough to get you to 70-75 miles an hour. It was more ideal for trail hops. You see, the KTM 250 EXC F, it can be both. A beginner's bike with gentle power, or a very controlled torquey lightweight dirt bike for advanced riders. The 250 definitely has the power to pull you through third gear on a hill climb while chugging along, while the KLX 250, you have to be on the right gears and in the revs. The KLX 250 is a great gentle beginner's bike, but so is the KTM 250 EXC F, except it gives you the power when you ask for it. You crank the throttle and it will keep delivering that power in a smooth manner. While the KLX 250, well, it runs out of it quickly, and sometimes in steep hill climbs in our elevation, it won't give it to you. Now the biggest thing is, as you progress, it's natural to think of another bike. You want something lighter, not too expensive, but at the same time something that won't rip your arm off. You wish there was just one bike you can keep for a very long time where you can grow into, or possibly even keep forever once it's paid off. I have to say the KTM 250 EXC F is a great bike for this. And you might ask yourself, what about just screw it and get the 500 and grow into that? Well, a few things here. The 500, you could definitely feel the weight versus the 250 KTM. It is still light, don't get me wrong, and I've seen it in our single track. But I believe the 500 series has its own purpose and it's completely in a different class. And not to mention, for a new rider, it has a handful of power. So to be honest, if I could have done it all over again, I would have gotten the KTM 250 EXC F, because this is definitely a bike worth having. The 250 EXC F does fine going 70 miles an hour, while trail hopping to get you to your next single track, which is what I was looking for, because the KLX 250, it can't really hit 70 miles an hour unless it's flat and downhill. Because, well, in Colorado, everything is going to have an uphill pass. I'm always on the res when I'm going anything past 60 miles an hour. Not to mention, our biggest issue is elevation, and the 250 EXC F seems to handle that just fine. As far as reliability, it looks like Kulai, Colorado had this 250 EXC F for quite some time, and he's never had a problem with it. So reliability, I think it's going to be fine in that department. So what about the KLX250 versus the KTM250 EXC F? Well, one thing is for sure. The KLX250 will outdo the KTM in reliability and, of course, comfort. But if you are more dirt-worthy and plan on doing trail hopping and just looking to exceed overall, and of course exploring and still at that new rider stage, the KTM250 EXC F is a great pick because it is truly something you can grow into and all you will ever need. You don't need a 350 or 450 or anything in that nature unless you do high-speed runs like desert runs and stuff. In fact, I personally think you can be faster with a 250 on tougher trails versus a 500. Sure, it might cost a bit more, but it can also save you a serious amount in the long run because, well, you can't really outgrow this KTM. Just because they are both 250s does not mean they are designed the same power-wise. The best way I can describe it is the KTM 250 EXC F is what the KLX 250 should have been in the power department. So a quick way and a quick easy sum it all up, if you're looking for an all-around bike that is gentle in the power delivery, but you can still utilize all of its power successfully as you get better, I personally think the 250 is the perfect pick. Anyhow guys, if you guys like my content, go ahead and subscribe and definitely hit that bell button. Definitely helps me out, and I'll catch you guys on my next video.